Welcome to the New Zealand Net Radio podcast. We hope you enjoy music shows and mixes. We have to edit the music on the podcast. To listen to the full show, visit our website at www.nznetradio.net.nz and click the replay service link in the menu, or download our app and use the shows tab. Now, on with the show.
New Zealand Net Radio.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
Welcome to the program, Musical Musings, where we have interesting, erudite and fascinating guests on the program. And today we've got Jarrett McCall from Nashville, the home of country music and increasingly music as a whole. How are you, Jarrett?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Great to have you on the program. I've met Jarrett on X, where he posts interesting music-related material. Tell us a bit about yourself, Jarrett.
Yes, born and raised in Nashville. My family's in the music business. That's how we ended up here in Nashville. And so just ever since I was 6 years old in first grade, I've been into music. I think it all goes back to Michael Jackson when he was really popular back in the early 80s. And then I've just gotten into all kinds of genres. Mainly today I'm more into the indie genres, but since joining X 10 years ago, I've hooked up with the Twitter music community and made a lot of friends throughout the years. And so I started in 2020. I decided to do a New Year's resolution to listen to all the new albums that come out every Friday. Not all new albums, but just like the genres that I would, enjoy listening to.
Yes.
So ever since 2020, every June of 2020, I always make my top 10 list of my favorite albums for the first half of the year. And then I do my, usually in December, I do the second half, and then I put them together and make a top 10 for the year. So a few days ago, I finished making my top 10 for the first half of 2026, and I would like you to hear some selections from that today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think you might have mentioned it on X that you were doing the list, and I thought, that'll be really interesting. It's a good opportunity to check in, actually, and reflect, and I know our listeners are going to hear some albums that they haven't come across. I know I've come through a few. Like you, I check out everything that's coming out each week, but there's just such a volume of music. It's just impossible to keep up with it all. You've got very diverse tastes, though. I know they range right from the 60s, if not earlier, through till today. And there's some really interesting musical challenges as well. Like doing one at the moment on 1962 songs. It's great seeing, getting exposed to so much great music.
Yeah, I've discovered a lot of new songs from hosting these challenges that I had overlooked in previous years. A few months ago, I did a 2017 song challenge, and this one MGMT song that was pretty popular. I really got into that one just because of that challenge, and I had never heard that song before. So yeah, hosting these challenges it has exposed me to a lot, and I've made a lot of different music Twitter friends through them too.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and I think hopefully we can do some more programs on some of the different challenges too, and look at some of the great music we've discovered. MGMT are a fabulous band, by the way. Right, well, let's get into your top 10 albums thus far of 2026 and have a little chat about your first album there from Feeble Little Horse.
Yep, so coming in at number 10 is Feeble Little Horse. Like you said, the album is called Bit Not. This one came out on May 26th. This is a band from Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania here in the U.S. This is their third album, and I've listened to their previous two albums. I've loved them. So they just keep consistently coming out with some great stuff. And this coming Saturday here in Nashville, I have tickets to see them in concert. This is going to be my first time seeing them.
Wow.
To describe their sound, they have like a fuzzy lo-fi shoegaze sound, and shoegaze is one of my favorite subgenres. I like the original ones, like My Bloody Valentine, Lush, and then some of the contemporary ones like Body Wash. So anything with like a shoegaze sound, I'm just, right away drawn to. Um, Also, they have like a 90s alternative influence. I'm thinking that probably when they first decided to start a band, they said, we love 90s alternative. Why don't we do our own kind of 90s alternative? Um, and some comparisons of other bands you might have heard of that I would compare them to. They sound a lot like early Helium, which was a 90s band fronted by Mary Timony. Mainly their early stuff like the XXX EP and their 1995 LP Dirt of Luck.
Yes.
Con- Contemporary band I would compare them to is an American band named Mama Larky. I don't know if you've heard of Mama Larky,
Yes, I think I have.
but yeah, I'm a huge fan of Mama Larky, so they got some similar sounds to them. My favorite song from this album, which we're gonna be hearing soon, it's called Dior, and I just love the mellow vocal styles of lead singer Lydia Slocum. It just really stands out for me. The one I really enjoyed, which we won't be hearing, but you should just check out on your own, it's called Guts.
Okay.
I just like this one because it's a really like playful, high pitched synth rhythm, which I don't know if you would compare it to this, but I would say like a circus or carnival sound. So that's why I would say playful, but
Yes.
just that rhythm really drives that song for Guts. But the one we're going to listen to, Dior, is my favorite, and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, let's have a listen now. They're a great band. They've got that glitchy, chaotic sound going on, but at the same time, the melodies are just so sweet, and I just love that combination. Let's have a listen to Dior off the album Fit Not by Feeble Little Horse.
This is New Zealand Net Radio. Send us a request. Visit www.nzradio.net.nz and click the request link.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
Well, that was Dior from Feeble Little Horse. I'm very jealous of Jarrett being able to go and see them live this weekend. I'm sure he has a bevy of great live music on tap there in Nashville. Right, on to another track now from a band. They may be called Esmo or ESMO. We're not quite sure which. Tell us about this one, Jarrett.
Yes, so ESMO, or Esmo, if you want to call them, came out with an album called Sunshine in My Bones. This is my number 9 choice. This one came out on May 15th. And the reason they're called ESMO is because the ES stands for Elizabeth Shepard, and the MO stands for Michael Occhipinti. So they're a duo. They're from Toronto, Canada. This is their second album.
Okay.
And it was recommended to me by our mutual friend in California, Jim Bricker,
Right.
who provides the playlist for the In the Mix New Music Highlight Show. And their genre, it's mainly smooth jazz, but it's not totally smooth jazz because they incorporate elements of indie pop into their music. But I am a fan of smooth jazz, and the electric piano is prominent in this album. And as long as I can remember, whenever I hear an electric piano in anything like from the 70s up till now, I'm immediately drawn to it. That's why I'm such a big fan of Bob James, who's famous for doing the theme song to the TV show Taxi.
All
So
right.
I can hear some Bob James influence in this album. Elizabeth Shepard, she provides the female vocals, and she does most of the vocals in this one. My favorite track on this one, which we'll be listening to pretty soon, it's called Don't Want to Wait. The reason I like this one so much is because of Elizabeth Shepard's soulful vocals and just the groove of the song. One thing that stood out for me in this song was I would say it's the bridge of the song. It's just a guitar solo, and Elizabeth is just scatting along to it. But another one that you should check out is the opening track. It's called "What You Want Can Never Be," and this one I liked it a lot because it has this '80s jazz funk sound, which I've always been attracted to that. But yeah, the one that I just mentioned, "Don't Want to Wait," is what we're going to hear, and just listen for that scat guitar solo during the bridge. It's really really good.
Yeah, there's a great chemistry there between Elizabeth Shepherd and Michael Occhipinto, which is fantastic. And yeah, Jim did put forward a track from this for us on the music highlights, which is great. Let's have a listen to "Don't Want to Wait" from Esmo off their album Sunshine in My Bones.
I won't hesitate. Don't wanna be late to tell you how I feel. And don't wanna wait. I won't hesitate. Feeling about you.
This is New Zealand Net Radio.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
Got Jarrett McCall here from Nashville with us with his top 10 albums of 2026 so far, a provisional list. And we're now on to number 8 in his list of albums. Who have you got for us here?
Yeah, coming in at number 8, I have Telenova, and their album is called The Warning. This one came out on February 27th. This is a band from close to where you are, not as close to where I am, but they're from Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
This is their second album, and you told me earlier I should check out their first, which I have not yet, but their second album is really good. Female vocalist Angelina Armstrong fronts the band. She has more of a wispy delivery, which is one of my favorite kind of vocal styles. And as I listen to this album, I can see when it comes to influences, their influences spans the decades. So, for example, one song is called "In the Name of Your Love," has more of an '80s sound, and then you have a song like "Empire," which I heard more of like a 2000s indie sound, and then you go to a song like "Vapor," which was a subgenre of the 2000s called chill out lounge. So it has that chill out lounge sound. But my favorite one on this album that we're going to be listening to, it's called Mountain Lion Adore. And I picked this one. I just like the structure of the song, just the way they wrote this, and just Angeline Armstrong's vocals. I just like the way that they like ride along, like with the journey that the song is trying to convey.
Yeah, it sounds like a really fantastic range of variety on there. I love it when a group, they might have a sound, but they can explore different genre and feels and sort of anything with an 80s feel. I really enjoy. It's very cinematic, isn't it? There's quite a multi-dimensional sound. Right, let's have a listen to Mountain Lion Adore from Telenova.
is New Zealand Net Radio.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
Well, that was Telenova there from Melbourne, Australia. And we're moving to the almost exactly opposite side of the globe now for your next pick. Jarrett, what have you got for us?
Coming in at number 7, I have the Twilight Sad. Their album is called It's the Long Goodbye. This one came out on March 27th, and they're from Kilsyth, I don't know, or Kilsyth, however you want to pronounce it, but I call it Kilsyth, Scotland. This is their 6th album, and it's their first album in 7 years, so which makes it their first album of this current decade. And as I was doing some research on the band, their genre is called post-punk. I would call it post-punk with a melancholy tone just throughout the album. It's got melancholic elements in it. It has a consistent use of minor chords, which I always love anything with a minor chord in it. It just immediately draws me to the song. Some influences I hear in this one would be the 80s, some 80s modern rock acts. So before we called it alternative or indie back in the 80s, we called it modern rock. So acts like the Smiths, the Cure, Stone Roses, you can hear elements of those bands on this album. My favorite track that we're about to hear, it's called Back to 14. It was written by lead singer James Graham. As you listen to it, it's a poignant song about a mother-son relationship with tragic elements. It doesn't specifically say what that is. It's just the theme of the song as you listen to it and listen to the lyrics. But it's about reliving the past. And, if you think back on certain moments, it just feels like you're back in that moment, even though might have been several decades ago, but you're just in that moment as you think back to it, which was the theme that this song is trying to convey, because it's called Back to 14. So he's thinking back to a time when he was 14 and there was something tragic that happened with his mother.
Yeah, it's really great music, isn't it? And that's an interesting theme, going back to 14. Of course, music is one of those things that can very vividly transport us back into the past. And yeah, it's beautiful music. Robert Smith from The Cure is on there. And it's a fantastic track. And of course, he's got a wonderful Scottish accent as well. James Graham, the vocalist. Okay, this is the Twilight Sad with Back to 14.
New Zealand Net Radio. Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
And that was the Twilight Sad there. I always say Scottish bands, that post-punk melancholic sound is really in their wheelhouse, and that's a fantastic example of it. Right, we're on now to the number 6 in Jarrett McCall's picks of the top 10 albums of 2026 so far. What have you got for us, Jarrett?
Coming in at number 6, we have a band. They're called PVA, and their album is called No More Like This. This album came out on January 23rd. This band, it's a trio from South London, and this is their 2nd album. And I was listening to it, I would describe their sound as like a chill electronic sound with soft female vocals. I would compare the vocal style to Florence Shaw. She's the lead singer for Dry Cleaning, which is also another band from South London like PVA. They use a lot of repetitive lyrics, which is fitting for the dance genres, especially like house dance. or the house genre of dance, but this is more like a chill house, I would say.
Okay.
My favorite song from this one that we're going to be listening to soon is called Anger Song. And it has traces of the Laurie Anderson song "Oh Superman" in it. If you're familiar with that song, you'll hear that as you listen to it. But another one you should check out on your own, it's called Rain. It's the opening track. And as I was making my notes, listen to this album, I put that Rain, it's like a slow sonic bath. But Anger Song is what we'll be listening to. And as you listen to it, just hear that "Oh Superman" Laurie Anderson influence in it.
Slow sonic bath. I just love that expression. No, that's great. Let's listen to Anger Song. Ella Harris's vocals are just so awesome on this, so commanding, and along with that pulsing synth, it really does have a hint of the dance floor as well.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
And we've got Jarrett McCall here running through his top 10 albums of 2026. That was Anger Song by PVA before that. And now on to his fifth album. What have you got, Jarrett?
Coming in at number 5, we have Hemlocke Springs, and Hemlock is spelled with an E at the end. The album is called The Apple Tree Under the Sea. This one came out on February 13th. Hemlocke Springs is the pseudonym for Naomi Udu, who is a native of Concord, North Carolina, and she is the child of Nigerian immigrant parents. And this is her debut album. What drew me to this album was it has an 80s retro synth sound, which as a child of the 80s, anything that has that 80s synth pop sound, I'm immediately am a fan of. I would define this as art synth pop because if you see her videos or just see some of photographs or cover art, it has like a playful avant-garde look. So that's why I would say it's like an art synth pop. But she has a great vocal range, Naomi Udu. My favorite track on this one, it's called Sense Is, and it just embodies all that I've said about this album with its 80s synth pop influence, and I'd say it's probably the catchiest track from this album.
Yeah, that's great. I really love that sound, and it's quite interesting how Hemlocke Springs seem to have gone from DIY bedroom pop into more of the mainstream. Yeah, hopefully they keep doing as well as they are. This is Sense Is from Hemlocke Springs.
Music variety on New Zealand Net Radio.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
Got Jarrett here having a really good time playing songs from his top 10 albums of 2026 so far. Some great suggestions, a lot of really fabulous albums in the indie universe, I guess you'd call them. That was Hemlocke Springs in before there. And now we're on to his number 4 album of 2026. What have you got for us, Jarrett?
Okay, coming in at number 4, we have a band. They're called Memorials. The album's called All Clouds Bring Not Rain, and this one came out on March 27th. This band is from Canterbury, England, which is famous for the Chaucer novel and also where the Church of England's Archbishop is located. As I was doing my research, I saw that this album was recorded in a secluded barn studio in southwestern France. And if you listen to the album, you can see you can see that it was, or hear that it was recorded in a barn. I would compare it to it's a Neil Young song from the early 70s called Soldier. And it was, from what I read, it was recorded like next to a fire in a barn or something like that. But you can hear like elements of that Soldier song throughout the album. This band, they're a duo. There's female vocals from Verity Sussman, who's also in a band called Electrolane.
Okay.
And there are occasional male vocals from Matthew Sims, who is in the band Wire. And last year here in Nashville, I saw them open for Stereolab. I think this was the first time I had ever heard of Memorials, but Stereolab, behind the Beatles, are my second favorite band of all time. I've seen them 4 times in concert. So yeah, their sound really fits well with the Stereolab sound. Some other influences I hear, the 70s German krautrock band Can. There's some, you can hear some Can influence in there. A contemporary band that they would be parallel to would be Beautified Junkyards, which is a Portuguese psychedelic chill act. If you've never heard of Beautified Junkyards, I highly recommend checking their stuff out.
Okay.
I would call this music psychedelic baroque pop. So it fits well in the late 60s, early 70s, which is one of my favorite genres of music. If you combine psychedelic and just the baroque pop that was popular in the late 60s, this is the sound that they have on this album. My favorite track is called Wholly Invisible, which we're about to hear. Verity Sussman's vocals on this one, they're muffled, which gives it the psychedelic sound that I talked about. And just overall, it's a great album. But yeah, Wholly Invisible is the closing track from this album.
Yeah, okay, let's have a listen to this. Yeah, I like the hint of folk to it almost, but it's, very complex instrumentation on it. This is Wholly Invisible by the Memorials.
New Zealand Net Radio. Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
That was Wholly Invisible from Memorials and before there. And now we're getting right down to the wire on Jarrett's list of the top 10 albums of 2026 so far. We're on number 3. What have you got for this one, Jarrett?
Coming in at number 3 is the band Sault, and the album is called Chapter 1. And this is the earliest release on my list. This came out on January 9th, so just like 9 days into the new year. This band, they're a neo-soul funk act, and they come from England, and they've proven themselves to be a very prolific band. For example, this is their 13th album in 7 years.
Wow.
And their first album was released in 2019, so they're producing a lot of good content. The lyrical content has evolved over the years. So when they first started out, most of their songs were about Black Power subjects like Black Lives Matter. But over the years, they've evolved more into a gospel. Uh, their lyrics have become more like gospel, talking about God, but they still keep their 70s funk soul sound. My favorite track on this one that we're about to hear, it's called Protector, and it has like a moody psychedelic funk sound. And the subject of the song is the speaker of the song is saying that God is his protector and he is the survivor. So as you listen to the song, you'll hear those two words uh, throughout the song.
Yeah, we're all for a bit of funk on this program. And Sault are just an amazing band, aren't they? And coming out with 13 albums in, 7 years, and maintaining their anonymity throughout as well. They're definitely hardworking, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
They're probably always making music.
Yeah, absolutely. Full on. Right, here's Protector by Sault on New Zealand Net Radio.
Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
And we're down to the last two albums on Jarrett's list of the top 10 albums of 2026 so far. This is number 2. What have you selected for number 2, Jarrett?
Coming in at number 2, the band is called Chanel Beats, and the album is called Your Day Will Come. And the previous one, Sault, that was the earliest release from January 9th. This one is the newest release. Came out June 26th, just 2 weeks ago. The band, it's a solo project of New York City musician Shane Levers, and he has some contributions from Maya Colley McGrory. And like with Feeble Little Horse, I have tickets to see Chanel Beats in October. They're going to be playing at Jack White from the White Stripes here in Nashville. He has a venue called the Blue Room, and I've been there a few times, so I'm going to see Chanel Beats at the Blue Room in October. This is their second album, and oddly, it shares the same title as the debut album. So the first album is called Your Day Will Come. This one is called Your Day Will Come. And the way to differentiate between the two is the first album has a picture of late 19th century people standing around. And this one, the second one, has a picture of a stone gargoyle's face on it.
Quite disturbing.
Differentiate. Yeah. But the reason I love this one so much, I just love Shane Levers' musical arrangements, along with the occasional female vocals from Colley McGrory. As I was listening to it, a comparison I would give to this it would be the musician McGee, which my wife is a big fan of McGee, but just his vocal stylings, along with his guitar play, it reminded me a lot of McGee. The one we'll be listening to, it's called The Coward Forgets His Nightmare, and it's just exclusively Shane Levers' vocals. And as you listen to it, see if you can hear the parallels between Chanel Beats and McGee.
Yeah, great. I was reading a review that described this song as a hazy cloud of smoke that glistens in the morning sun, which sounds very nice. Here's Chanel Beads with The Coward Forgets His Nightmare, number 2 on Jarrett's list.
Music would save you.
New Zealand Net Radio. Musical Musings. Top 10 albums of 2026 so far.
Well, we're down to the wire now, the number one in Jarrett's list of 10 best albums of 2026 so far. What is holding the number one position, Jarrett? Drum roll.
So, I re-listened to all these albums from the past 6 months, and there are a few that could have taken the number one spot, but I had a hunch that this would probably end up number one, and it did. The group is called BB Club. This is my number one album, and the album is called Amaro. This one came out on February 27th. BB Club is a French-Canadian couple from Montreal, so they're boyfriend and girlfriend. This is their third album, and all of their albums to me are works of beauty. They just get better and better. I think I've talked about before, I've always loved songs in a minor key, and you can hear that throughout this album and all their other albums.
Yes.
So that's why I love this one so much, is the minor key. And like my second favorite band, Stereolab, they sing in both French and English because they're French-Canadian.
Yes.
Some of their songs are in English, some are in French, and they're part of the Montreal chill genre, which right now is my favorite subgenre of contemporary music. So my favorite contemporary band is part of the genre. They're called Men I Trust. You probably heard of them. They're also French-Canadians from Quebec. Another one I like a lot is Tops. And I think I mentioned them earlier, Body Wash, which has like a shoegaze sound. So those are part of the Montreal chill that BB Club is a part of. And I was looking through their tour dates. They mostly tour Eastern Canada, like Quebec, and they tour Europe, but when they tour, it's mainly French. So it seems that they just stick to French-speaking areas. But I would love to see them live. My mom, she's from Quebec originally, so maybe I can make an excuse to go up there to see family and maybe see a show sometime. But my favorite track from this is the title track. It's called Amaro. And the reason I love this one so much is just, like I said before, I love a psychedelic minor key sound and just the production, the layers and layers of sound. It's just the perfect song for me.
Yeah, fantastic. I love Baroque music personally, and I was reading that they use Baroque instrumentation, harpsichords and trumpets and things like that, which I think always gives a wonderful air to a song. Mm-hmm. So thanks very much, Jarrett. Well, this has been a really great list. I only knew one or two of these albums, and it's fantastic to have some more wonderful music from this year highlighted to us and keep up to date with what's happening. Do you want to give us a hint as to what's coming up with you on X and your challenges?
Yeah, so I don't know if I said before, but on odd number months, the first Monday of every odd number month, which is what we're in right now, that's why we're doing 1962 Songs Top 20. So the next one I'll be hosting for Songs Top 20 will be in September, and I'm going to be Top 20 Songs of 2015. So if you want to take part, start doing your research on what came out in 2015. And our friend Jim Bricker, he will be hosting the next album one, which will be in August, first Monday in August. He has not made an announcement yet, but just be on the lookout for Jim Bricker's X account to see what the album top 20 countdown will be for August.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm really looking forward to 2015, and it'll be exciting to see what Jim comes up with. The most recent month was 1986, and we've had a few mixes of songs from that year. Just an incredible year in music. Well, thanks so much for what you do online, Jarrett, and highlighting great new and old music, and always enjoy engaging with you. And thanks for your time today. We look forward to having you back again in the future, and perhaps at the end of the year we can come up with your revised top 10 for the whole year.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me, and I'd love to be back and love to share my top 20 for the second half and my top 20 for the whole year.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, here's Amaro from BB Club signing us out on New Zealand Net Radio.